Well, g'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yep, beard's gone, I know. I look better with it. I don't look good with it, but I look better with it. Look, it's getting hot, it's getting warm. It's like 25 degrees today, and there's more heat coming next week. There's a couple of wet days coming for us, but it's just getting a bit hard to keep the beard on, and this has got to get tidied up too. It's just getting too rough. Anyway, sorry no tillers. We're plowing.
Stay there.
Oh guys, there we go. Roast away. I'll just ignore it. I don't care. Wind, sorry. Anyway, we're turning the paddock more around than we was before. Should be good. We come over here for a wee look. We've got reasonable depth. We're sort of sitting at 8 to 9 inches. There you go. There we go. Whole way up my gumboot. Gumboot Friday today, guys. Keep behind that. So soil. Have a look at this, and I think this is what we want to see. Aggregates, right? That's what they're talking about. Is that not that? Is that not that? I don't know. I think so. Wormy there. Worms there. Worms everywhere. Are there any worms in there? Maybe not. Worm there. Piranha. Oh, he's alive too, the bugger. No, he's not. Yeah, we've got good worm life. What is that? What is that? Don't know what that is. Is that little nodules on a clover root? I don't know. I wouldn't even know what they look like. Yeah. Anyway, the old soil's not looking too bad. Wee bit compacted in here, but We were only in this paddock 6 years ago. As I think I said in the last video, we have had a change in government. It hasn't all been officially announced yet. It's sort of hopefully tonight. But yeah, it's almost certain we're going to have a centre-right government. Very centre-right, but hey, it's a whole lot better than left. This paddock should have been left for another 4 to 5 years before we came back here, which in pasture would have given the soil structure even more chance to rebuild, and it would have been bloody perfect. But because they've decided that we can't plough any of these hills without consent, even though I have done that one over there, and I just don't care. It's beyond 10 degrees, but it's not by much, and I just don't care. I am on here putting this all out there, and I literally, if I'm not careful, I could be putting the evidence they need to prosecute me for something that I should be able to do without their permission on the internet for them to see, and that just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, we're just sort of shying off the steep stuff again this year. Hopefully by the time we graze it this year, bearing in mind we're allowed to plant it, we're just not allowed to graze it. Hopefully by the time we get to grazing time this year, both of the ag people, yeah, definitely 2 of the 3 in this potential government, have said that the 10 degree slope rule is basically gone. The requirement for consent anyway, or farm plan. So next year we should be sweet. Hopefully this year will be okay, but it's just a little bit much of a risk for me to take. People that aren't sort of putting themselves out there as much, maybe a bit safer, but yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling. Let's get going. Oh guys, it is like 7:30 at night now, and I'm getting pretty sick of it, but we are very nearly finished this paddock. As you can see, my straight line driving is not that good, because yeah, it'll be right, we'll work it out. Not looking bad, not looking too bad, especially looking at it from this way, because you can't see the grasses back under there, so that's alright. But if we come out here, no, it ain't bad at all. What we're going to do with this is we're going to leave it for a few days. It's going to rain tomorrow. Going to get this ploughing finished tomorrow. That paddock just through there with the young hedge above it, I think we're almost definitely going to do that one too. So we've got this one, the one next door, that one, and the one behind it, and I think we're going to get about 18.5 hectares there. Yeah, if I might say so myself, that ain't bad looking. Flat ground it should be, but old, tired, well-worn plough, but still holding up well. And an operator who doesn't have a clue what he's doing, so not a bad result. But yeah, I think we'll get this finished. I'm going to go home, have some tea, and then I'll decide whether I head back over there. A couple of headlands to tidy up there that I just started raining this morning, and they're not steep. They're not over 10 degrees, but they might be more like 25. Yeah, that I've just got to tidy up. It was a bit greasy. I was sliding off and driving around, so I thought if I got the plough on the ground, it's going to be untidy. So we come and got into this stuff over here. Yeah. So there we go. Here we go, guys. Here's trouble. See if I can keep this focused for you. Right, they're on the ball, I better get moving. From a distance that gate looked shut, but it ain't chained. Just a point to consider here, guys. A really divisive, I shouldn't say divisive, touchy subject is coming up in the next few weeks, which is topping. We let the sheep eat the grass they want to eat, then we mow away the stuff they don't want to eat, let it rot back to the soil, and it grows again, and it keeps quality better, and yeah, everything's good. I just want to show you something. So if we look here, we've got nice lush green grass. Come down the hill a wee bit. Ignore that, that is from doing baleage where the baler didn't want to come down there. What a suck. It's not that steep. Anyway, we come down here, we top down to here every year. And about here, we often don't top past, or we don't mow past for baleage. Did we do this for baleage last year? I don't think we did. But about 3 or 4 years in a row we did, and we left this little bit here undone. Look, you can see the line there as well. Yeah, this is rubbish. This is crap. Look at all this shit. This all thick, yuck types of grass, native grasses that are just not that palatable. Stands out really good at this time of year because the ryegrass is going to seed, and to be fair, the ryegrass here is not that nice right now. All that clover down there though. But this gives us an indicator. Ryegrass is the grass that we want. You see that starting to go to seed. Well and truly starting to go to seed there. This stuff will just slowly seed all season and will remain rough. And the line is far more evident down there. I'm just going to check this fence along here, and then we'll go down and have a look down there as well. Well, there's plenty of grass in here. They're all happy. It's quite a big break, this one. And, well, it's not all that long. It is basically baleage. But I'm not baling this because, well, there's too much area in here that's too steep to bale. We've got 2.2. We had the maize last year, which is in that Mawata, that really violent growing grass, locked up for baleage, and the faraway break, which we'll get most of. Obviously won't get the big steep face, and there's another couple of wee pinches we won't get, but there's 4.5 hectares there. I think we'll get 3 to 3.5. I won't send the guys down the bottom because they won't get back up. But that's alright, the hoggets can go and graze that afterwards, or cattle or something. We'll just see how we go. We might skip this break. So the hoggets are just there. They've come from that really yellow one just down there. They've got one in the other paddock. We might skip this break for one rotation if we think we can. And then we might bale this one as well, but we'll just see how that goes. That will take us up to about 8.5 hectares and hopefully get us 120, 130 bales. Be nice. But yeah, we're not in a panic to get baleage right now. So we'll see how this one goes. I don't know, I'll have a look. It might even be better to leave the other break over there and just try and keep them in this paddock for, I don't know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, see how it goes. But yeah, that's all up in the air right now, we don't know. But anyway, I'm not baling that one. That would be good to bale lengthwise, but it's just got too much ugly ground in there. We're going to get like half of it, and yeah. The other thing is the hoggets were in here before we shore them, so they've actually picked the best out of this. So it would actually be, yeah, I'll show you down underneath. Like, there's a lot of grass there, but a lot of the clover's been picked out of it, and it's down real low because it's coming back. So obviously the first thing the hoggets do when they're in here is they look for this stuff and they just nip away at that. They'll eat some grass with it, but they want the clover first. So yeah, it might look like this makes sense to bale, but really it doesn't. So yeah, hoggets shifted. They're probably, crikey, they'll probably get 10 to 12 days in here. That's all right. Here's this other line that I was telling you about. Now I just want to be completely transparent here. This got regrassed when we cropped this paddock. It got cropped as well. We plowed the whole thing. Some might say it's too steep. I say you're a pack of six. Yeah, that line. It's not a fertiliser line because we fertilised the whole thing. Didn't get urea on the whole thing, but there is no way that my bulky has a definitive line like that. It tapers out over, yeah. So the only thing that can be is when we do the baleage and we leave all this rough and then it stays rough for the whole season. And it might get topped at the end of the season, it might not. This is the difference. Ryegrass retention, beautiful quality feed for the vast majority of the year. No ryegrass retention, or very little, and rough crap. So when you see us cruising around with rather a lot of money's worth of gear, topping, mowing grass to waste, not a concern with cattle, might I add, because cattle will eat the stalk and everything that's rough, and it'll stop that from happening. Then their feet kind of help that to happen a little bit too. But anyway, yeah, it's a sheep issue. Sheep will eat around all the stuff they don't want and leave the stuff they don't want behind, and you will literally have to push them to the point where they're losing weight to get them to eat it. That is counterproductive. So when you see us doing that, it's not a recreational activity. It's not pointless. It does work. it is definitely economic, and yeah, we're going to keep doing it, so don't argue. So yeah, this time of year I think I've probably nailed this pretty well. You never get it absolutely perfect, but yeah, let's have a look. So yeah, that's where the hoggets have gone to. So that one's locked up for baleage. The far side of that one is, this side isn't, and then they've got this, and then that one might be. We'll just see. Hoggets have just been shorn, obviously. This is their first break after shearing. They've been here for yonks. Still a bit of clover around. They haven't absolutely erased that. This stalky stuff is here. It is here, which means that next time round we'll be topping. See, they have sort of eaten it to a fair degree. They've eaten to there, but they won't eat the rest of it. Some of them they have, but generally speaking they won't. They don't like the seed and they don't like the stalk. So for now we'll leave a bit of clover behind. This will grow back quite nice. It'll be a bit rougher next time, but it'll still be reasonably good quality. And then we'll sort of push them as hard as we're game to, which, bearing in mind they're really nice looking hoggets. We've done quite well with them this year. Considering the summer we had last year, I don't know how they've come through so well, but they have. So we want to keep them that way. So we'll push them as far as we think we can afford to. And then we come in here with the mowers after they've grazed it, and we just go mow the whole thing. Just a break at a time after they've been in there. Definitely afterwards. I've never had any luck with sheep doing it beforehand. But yeah, and then all that seed head will be gone. There'll be thistles in there, that'll be gone. They'll probably come back. Some seed head will come back. Any other weeds, chopped off, gone, don't have to worry about them. And hopefully right at the end you get a bit of a flush of growth there and you get green grass come back, and then for the rest of the season you should be sweet. Yeah, you might have to come back and top it again for thistles or a little bit of aftermath heading. This paddock is 7 or 8 years old now, so the ryegrass it's not going to be all ryegrass. There's going to be other grasses there, and they seed throughout the season, and yeah, but it's been rotationally grazed its whole life, so it should be pretty good. I'd like to say in here we're probably still at 80% ryegrass retention, and obviously the clover's looking good too. So yeah, see that paddock there, and see the misses all through it. There's a story to that. We'll come to that later. It's really annoying, but it's a lesson learned about my awesome flash fancy new drill that I have. Yeah, we're always learning. Well guys, maybe we're back here straight away. I can't even remember what's between now and the other video. Just over there. That was 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? Yeah. No, it was yesterday. Right, anyway, so we're back in this paddock here. Now you can sort of see along here, every so often there's a really heavy strip of grass been sown. And beside it's a really bare strip, and that would indicate a miss. You don't get the two side by side. The bare strip indicates a miss. The thick strip indicates overlap. You cannot have a miss and overlap at the same time. What's happened is this paddock, we got under pressure. It's a 3 hectare paddock. I had a window of opportunity of like 3 days. Subsoiled it the first day, max tilled it once, the second day, twice. Then the third day I maxi tilled it first thing in the morning. It's only 3 hectares, so that only took an hour and a bit for each pass. And then I got the Dutch harrow sitting down there. I think I showed you. The chain harrows there together, did 3 passes, and then finished with 1 pass, just the Dutch harrows. And then on the same day I sowed it. So what happened is the soil was still a bit sticky, and the sticky soil stuck to the roller, because rollers love having soil stick to them. And now we'll go and have a look at what happened. So as you can see, roller is covered in mud. Well, it's dry dirt now. As we're cruising along, that mud, now as I have a look here, I see it's not quite what I thought happened. I thought it must have gone in from here, but it hasn't. But anyway, the mud flicks off the roller, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking what's actually happened is it's gone up into, let's see how good this camera is. That there, I don't know if you can see in there, I can't see what you're seeing, and it's blocked it. And this was chock-a-block here, down there with seed. So the seed was coming out, oh, you can sort of see it, down there somewhere. Yeah, there's a pile of it here, there's seed all over the ground here, but there's a pile of it down there. So all this area here, wasn't getting seeded, and all that seed was going over there, which is what was causing the stripe and the miss, the overlap looking stripe and the miss at the same time. Because like I say, you cannot have a miss and overlap at the same time unless there's something wrong with the drill. So it wasn't the driving that was the issue, it was the observing everything else. Anyway, we're going to get some joules on this girl because she's lighter than the big one, and we're going to use it to do the rolling on the furrow if we can. I'm out of diesel on farm at the moment. The big tractor's got plenty, that one I don't know, so we'll see how much diesel's in that, but should be here hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah, just makes sense. Put a few more airs in that one, give it a good hot run because it does all the loader work, which is often not a lot of hot running. Yeah, and it's just lighter. And it's pretty cool to drive. It's a 10. So yeah, what that's done, you can see there's a few weeds in here, and you can see that the yar particularly is shriveling up and dying. Today is the first day that I can put new seed in the ground. Been told 3 days. A lot of these other weeds will hopefully die too. A spray called Preside. We don't like using spray, but the idea is we aim to minimise its use, and sometimes to minimise its use you have to use it strategically so that you don't have to use more of it down the line. Now, grass plants, grass plants, grass plants. Some of these things are going to be clover, some aren't. There's no grass plants here. And that's because of that, what we were just talking about in the roller. Now, this isn't quite dry enough to do yet. I'm going to drag covering harrows back over it, and we're going to uproot a few of these plants, and that's annoying because they're like 3 weeks from sowing now. We probably will stir up a few more weed seeds, hopefully not too many more. But yeah, we should hopefully get a reasonably clean paddock of grass out of this. The other 3 paddocks, one up there we had to spray early on, one up on top, 90% of it is really good, and the rest of it will be okay. And the one further over is really good for weeds, but it does have a few runs from that heavy rain that we got when the woolshed just about flooded from a few videos back. 13 years, I think this is year 13, we've been sowing grass early, and this is the first year we've had a properly bad run of it, but that's alright. You don't change too much because of 1 year out of 13. It worked for the other 12, but this is just payback, I suppose, catch up a little bit. But yeah, so we'll let this dry up a bit more. This stuff here, yeah, this stuff here is probably not too far off, like it's quite cloddy, and that will probably be alright. It's not going to stick. There's moisture just right there though, and we're just mindful we don't want to compact it too much, but at the same time, once it's got plants growing in it like this, it doesn't dry out quite the same. So yeah, and I really want to get this job done before we go and get into the next one, because the ploughing is all but finished. I sort of stuffed up there. We got into it, we got a heap done. I thought I'll video it for the last paddock for you guys. I'll do a whole video just on that. Thinking that the other 4 paddocks that I did were going to come to 18.5 hectares. Now 20 hectares is what we want. We want 20, and really if we're going to be under 20, 19.5 is the limit. And we've been there before, we've had less than 19.5, and it never works out well for winter. We always get tight at the other end. Doesn't even matter what the yields are. We know what the yields are going to be early on, and or reasonably early on, and we can adjust on that. We can carry a bit more grass forward. But yeah, the years that we've only had 18.5 hectares of crop, like this one just been, where we could have done with another couple of hectares. So 20 is the limit, and we've got 19.3, I think it is, out of the 4 paddocks that we've done so far. Now there's a 1 hectare paddock up the road that I've got the option to do, but the other problem is I'm measuring off the distance in the ground that'll go forward by the width of the machine. So if I'm not running at exactly that width, it isn't very accurate. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these 4 paddocks that we've got ploughed. We're going to roll them probably in this video, so you'll see the 4 paddocks. You've already seen some of them. Yeah, we're going to do them. We're going to get them planted. The guys have got 10, or basically 10 hectares. Well guys, back for another day. Beautiful day here in Southland today. Tell you what, Southland really does have the worst weather in the country. This thing about Southland is the lack of people. Anyway, we're just out here shifting these girls out of the way. Then we've got to shift the ewes out of there, not worry about the cattle, because there's some wet dry tudus that we've decided this year we're going to keep. We want to lift our numbers back up a wee bit. We've been down in numbers for a couple of years, just a couple of drought and then a very dry, and then the previous year was COVID challenges that took a bit of managing as well. Ewes aren't worth a lot this year. Sorry, we killed some works ewes there last week, and they were fat. They were 37.2 kilo carcasses, and we got 86 or 88 bucks for them or something. I think with loyalty it'll work out about 89. So they're not worth a lot. To put that in perspective, those ewes this time last year would have been worth over $200. So what I'm getting at, it's a cheap time to keep them to lift their numbers back up this year. Now they are wet dries, so they'll all get the yellow terminal tag in the year, which means that we won't keep replacements from them ever. But they'll still produce lambs. They'll still produce terminal lambs that'll get to the works quicker. So they fill a hole. Steel elk. Elks. So there's actually two gates they can run through. They can run through into that paddock there, or they can go through this one here as well. So not too fast, because they're all going to wind up back in one mob again in about an hour's time, but just for now, get them out of the road. Check out this grass in here though, guys. This is pretty reasonable. Like, we're right at the top of a knob here, so you'd expect the clover to be gone, but just because they love camping here. But yeah, it's really holding up nice. There is definitely clover in there, you can see, so they're not actually beating it, which is good. But yeah, pretty stoked at the moment with the way things are holding up. Not too much grass, but not too little. Hey, what are you doing back here? Steel, out, out, out. Yeah, not a lot of baileys like that, but a little bit. Crop ground's out, and we're sitting pretty happy. Good old traditional Southland spring, hopefully followed by a traditional Southland summer, but we'll see. And here we go. Are they gonna work it out? Maybe, maybe not. I really don't know. I'd like them to without any pressure, because I didn't actually empty the sheep out of this paddock, or the cattle. So if they break away, it's going to be a bit silly, but I think they'll work it out if we just keep the pressure off. I spoke too soon. We'll see. Go on, girls, there you go. Still. Still sit. Still out. Good girl, Still. Walk up. Walk up. Go on, Still. Come on, you silly girls. Still out. Still out. We'll come back to this when they've actually worked it out. 30 seconds later, there we go. There is a creek there they've got to get over, but there's also a bit of a crossing there we built years ago. It's not the best, but it works. For small mobs of sheep, you wouldn't want to put 1,000 over it, but yeah. There's a lot of really rough grass in there, really, really rough. Because we hadn't grazed this properly in probably over a year now, to be fair. See, there they go, they found their way. You lot, don't cause any trouble and don't eat my bike keys. Yes, I've had that happen before. There we go. So yeah, they're just going to go out there, rough feed. I mean, a lot of people would say we should plant that whole thing in pine trees, but I'm not going to swear on here. I'm going to mouth the swear word. I hate pine trees. Well, made it back to the tractor. I just thought I'd check the diesel on it. Now she's leaning this way a bit, but she's also leaning back a bit, so I'm going to trust what it says. We did about, I don't know, 4.5, 5 hours here yesterday. It's coming up not too bad. Like, my ploughing is not flash, and all we're doing at the moment is the roller and the chain harrows behind it, just to push those furrows down, and then we'll get in there with the harrow next week once the lime's on and work it down properly. But it's just to push that down, and then you don't bring up as much turf when you harrow it, in theory. We'll see. But yeah, this girl had half a tank yesterday when I started, and I was a bit worried we might not have had much left. Where are we? Now, like I said, we're leaning over a bit towards the side, but we're also leaning back, and the tank runs a long way back there, so I'm going to say she's probably only doing 6 or 7 litres an hour last night, which is good, because it shouldn't use that much on that. It is pulling a wee bit hard because it's quite soft, so obviously the wheels sink in a wee bit and the roller sinks in a wee bit, but all in all, pretty happy with that. For an old girl with 11,000 hours on it, well, not quite, 10,700 and something, she's doing alright. Just in case you're wondering, no, the fuel gauge on this tractor does not work, and that is why I'm dipping the tank with a piece of alkaline, if it will go back in its hole properly. Come on, there we go. Yeah, it did work when we first got it, and then I was driving to town one day when I picked up the plough. Funnily enough, when we bought it, the fuel gauge stopped working, so don't know what the go was there. So as you can see, these furrows are just sitting up a little bit. A combination of several factors: a worn plough, a pretty poor ploughman, a wide furrow and a deep furrow. So they just don't quite sit down the same as they would normally. If you do a 16 by 6 inch furrow or something, they'll sit down real nice. But yeah, so what we're doing is we're turning that into that, which is just push those edges down. You can see there's still a wee bit showing through in places like that. That's just a wee bit that's bent up, but the rest of it's all good. And then dragging these spikes up. See these spikes here? These harrows can go both ways. So it's just like a normal old set of chain harrows, and that's just to scratch things up a wee bit, which if this gets rained on, that'll help that dry out a wee bit, because that there will sort of be all sealed up and soak up a whole lot of water and hold it. That'll, sorry, my camera's going all funny, that'll pick up wind a bit better and dry out. So yeah. Whee! Yes, officer, I promise you it's only 10 degrees. To be fair, this is less than 10 degrees. That little pitch over there might be a bit more, but that'll be right. Always fun climbing hills, especially when things are going well. So guys, there we go, all rolled. Excuse the dirty windows, but that is not a bad finish for nothing but ploughed and rolled. Harrow out in about 4 or 5 days time, and yeah, get into it. Obviously the headlands are a wee bit ugly because my ploughing's not very good, but that's alright. It's just the headlands. Pretty happy with that. Well guys, we got all that rolling finished last night, thank goodness, because it was starting to get really boring. Tiny wee skiff of rain, like it was forecast for 0.1 mils, and that's probably all we got, but that might change our plans a wee bit for today. I'll have a look, we'll see. So this is probably going to be the last segment of this video, probably just as well because it's getting long enough. But yeah, that grass seed sowing might have to wait till tomorrow now, re-sowing that paddock with that miss in it, because no more rain forecast, and just with the plants already in there, it gets quite sticky, and stickiness is what caused the problem in the first place. So yeah, anyway, this paddock here, some quite nice looking feed on here. There's plenty of these things turning up, which is annoying, but is what it is. But 10 days ago this paddock was quite bare, which is why I emptied it out. There's plenty of this stuff, that's the Huron patch, that's in between. There's also quite a bit of this stuff showing up down here. Now yeah, 10 days ago paddock was a bit bare, hunted them off, and now look at it. So Southland is really growing. That's not actually the best patch of clovery stuff, to be fair, but I'll show you a bit on the way out in the paddock just down there, which is not for this mob, but it's amazing. Yeah, so today we're going to let the sheep that came out of here back into here. They are 2 paddocks that way. 2 days ago I pushed them all into the far away one because it was getting a bit rough and a bit long. I don't know whether I mentioned to you or not. Yeah, so we pushed them all in there. I was meant to come and let them out yesterday, but got sidetracked. They've had enough to eat. It's not like they're starving, but We probably did put a bit much pressure on them doing that, but yeah, we'll go and have a look and see what sort of tidy out job they've done. Well, they've certainly tidied the top of it up quite nicely. Wasn't really that rough up here, but they certainly have just neatened it up. You can see that clover in there still, so that's good. They're obviously not starving, otherwise there'd be none of that left. But we'll head down the bottom for a look. This was all really rough here. Still, there's still that rough sort of seedy stuff there you can see, but still, we go still. While I go, still get up, still get up. Poor dogs don't get a lot of work at this time of year. What are you guys doing? Go find your mums. Go on. So yeah, you see this bit here, this is still quite rough. I'll never clean this bit up. Just a rough wee bit on the boundary, so it'll just get top heavy, left to lie, but it's only a tiny wee bit. Then we come down around here, and over here it was sort of the same. That was quite rough. Once again, there's still a bit of roughness there. They're not going to eat that seed head. Sort of look up there, still a bit of tucker there, but not too bad. I actually think in a year like this, that this would probably be a good thing to come out and top, honestly. We'll shoot up the hill a little bit. It's literally right here over the brow. Yeah, see the difference there? This has actually worked really, really well. Better than I expected it to, because I left them here a day longer than I should have. So yeah, it's just all about controlling pasture quality. The longer it gets, especially at this time of year, the rougher it gets, the shorter it is, the better. But the shorter it is, the lower your growth. The longer it is, the longer your growth, the higher your growth. So a bit of a juggling act, and with these paddocks having so much altitude, it's quite good with these three fences here. Like after tailing, these three paddocks have to be run as one mob, but we can shuffle them around and put them where the grass is and take them away from where the grass isn't, and yeah, let it recover and tidy it up. Be quite cool down the bottom between what we call number 3 and number 5, number 4 being in the middle, to have a wee laneway there so we could isolate number 4. But fencing's expensive, and that is a low, low opportunity cost return on investment. It's going to cost not a whole lot to do, but the return is going to be quite low, but it will be handy, so we'll see. Yeah. So anyway guys, I think we'll call it quits there. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time.